Good afternoon. Good afternoon. This is Carmen's TV and you are watching Mummy's News. We start today's programme off with an unfortunate event that we will report of unfortunately 2 chairs from the garden being stolen. They were left out in the garden overnight and in good faith, and unfortunately by the morning time they were gone. So there have been a couple of reports from the local neighbours who have given profiles of a potential thief, as there was someone suspicious in the area. So we've had some profiles drawn up as a picture of the suspect. So if you recognise this suspect as to be one of your relatives, or in fact if you have to turn in one of your own friends, we plead you to call the number at the bottom of the picture if you do in fact recognise this face. Moving on a more positive note, Carmen's verbal diarrhea has in fact been cured. So she is in a lot better health now and a lot better spirits. So it has been cleared up, thankfully for me and for Carmen. So we wish Carmen the best of health and all the best for the future moving on. But on that note, there has been reports of people, particularly neighbours, in passing having lengthier conversations and people speaking for longer amounts of time to their loved ones on the phone. So this may well in fact be one of the signs of the outbreak of verbal diarrhea. So we ask you to look out for these sort of signs picking up, and if so, please call NHS Direct on 123. Thank you. Also, moving on to the next report, we had a false alarm in the household. The doorbell rang yesterday, to our surprise, as you all probably know, as we're in a national lockdown and we weren't expecting any visitors. So we were very surprised to hear the doorbell ring. So I personally went to the door to discover a delivery man who was actually trying to, in fact, deliver a parcel to our next door neighbours. So we had to point him in the right direction. So it was all a false alarm. So we are now again at ease. Moving on to something now which is very sinister and we take very seriously. There's been reports, and also myself have had a personal encounter of going to the kitchen cupboards and discovering that someone has actually consumed the last of the biscuits and left the empty packet in the cupboard. This we take very seriously, as some of you may know and can relate to the fact that this is extremely irritating and should be taken very seriously, and we are now calling for harsher punishments to be put onto those who actually consume and leave empty packaging in the cupboards. We're also, you may be interested to know, creating an online petition for the laws to be pushed down harder on this kind of behaviour and for it to in fact be illegal. So you will find at the end of this programme, if you Google www.mummiesnews.carmensTV/London/Littlehampton /Lola.com.uk.org, there is actually an online petition that you can sign to push for this to become a law. So those caught leaving empty packages in cupboards will be prosecuted, and you will be able to call the emergency services on your own relatives or people you may know who are partaking in this kind of behaviour. So please look out for that at the end of the programme. Moving on. 3 days ago, unfortunately, there was a situation where Lola was refusing to get dressed. This was quite infuriating, as it meant that we couldn't really leave the house or do anything with our day. But the more that we tried to attempt to get Lola dressed, the more she ran away and downright refused, until we all just gave up on it and allowed her to just run around in her pyjamas for the whole day. But on a positive note, she was actually in fact able to wear her pyjamas to bed that night, so we didn't have to get her ready. So that's a positive note really on the story. So moving on to the weather. Well, it's been sunny and it's been lovely, but it's about to get cloudier and possibly it's going to rain. So we advise that you plan activities inside, maybe be a bit more creative and a bit more imaginative with things that you can do inside. One thing, for instance, that you could do, a bit of cardboard comedy. If you have a cardboard box, there is 101 things that you could do with a cardboard box. So we ask you to just put that into your imagination, and we'll be interested to see what ideas people have come up with. So I bid you farewell and thank you for tuning in once again to Mummy's News Commons TV, and we truly wish you the best of health, the best of care, and God bless.